What's going on, guys? It's your boy Boxing Facts or Fiction. I need you guys to do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Jr. We seen the fight. Errol Spence Jr. didn't ask for the fight. Mikey Garcia called out Errol Spence Jr. We thought Mikey Garcia was crazy. We thought he was blowing smoke. But he actually proved that he wasn't blowing smoke. He really wanted the fight. He took the fight. He lost the fight. Mikey Garcia took the fight. He lost the fight. What can we say? We all should have knew he was going to lose the fight. He's daring to be great, moving up 2 weight classes to try to beat an undefeated fighter who is in his prime, who we haven't really seen too much wrinkle in. So he said he's seen something, but we the fans, we didn't see it. Well, his fans probably saw something, but everybody else couldn't see. Till this day, we still don't know what Mikey Garcia thought he saw against Errol Spence Jr. Maybe he didn't have the size to do it, to do whatever he felt like he saw he could have took advantage of. Maybe that was his case, or maybe Errol Spence Jr. was just a lot better than Mikey Garcia thought. But we seen the fight, we saw the result. Hopefully everybody got their money's worth. But with that being said, going into this fight, I thought Mikey Garcia was going to get blown out in the first couple of rounds. I wasn't even going to be surprised if he was going to get blown out in the first round. But that wasn't the case. We saw Mikey Garcia go 12 rounds with Errol Spence Jr. A lot of people say Errol Spence was just trying to display his boxing skills. He didn't sit down on his punches. Well, whose fault is that? That's Errol Spence's fault. I was one of those people that was saying the same thing. Errol Spence, he went in there to try to display his skills, but nobody asked for Errol Spence to display his skills. Errol Spence was just trying to prove the public wrong, trying to prove to himself that he's the better boxer. Nobody asked him to do that. I didn't ask him to do that. He chose to do that. What we expected was him to go in there and blow this guy out in a few rounds. He went in there to showcase his skills. At the end of the day, we the fans, we don't pay to see a lot of skills. We pay to see knockouts, you know. So we respect skills in the sport of boxing, but we want to see a guy knocked out on his back or on his face. So Errol Spence went in there. He did what he had to do. It was impressive. It was a one-sided shutout, but it left doubts in the minds of a lot of people. It left a lot of doubts in the minds of a lot of people. They're thinking, can Errol Spence really hit that hard? Why wasn't Errol Spence able to put away a guy like Mikey Garcia away? I mean, we have nobody to blame but Errol Spence Jr. You know, he displayed spectacular skills, but even though it was beautiful to watch, but that's not what the fans was expecting. A lot of Errol Spence Jr. fans was expecting Errol Spence to go in there and take this guy out. And Errol Spence didn't do that. He went in there and displayed boxing skills. He took some muster off his punches. He took a lot off his punches. Listen, I'm not going to, matter of fact, I don't know that for sure. I'm not going to say he took a lot of steam off his punches. In my opinion, he looked like he was punching hard. He looked like he was focused. He looked determined. Mikey Garcia may just have a really nice chin. Mikey Garcia may really be a really tough fighter. Even though I still believe he didn't do enough in that fight. But he's a tough guy to be able to take that much punishment. Mikey Garcia may never, ever taste the canvas. He may never get knocked out. Because this was the fight. If there was any fight we thought Mikey Garcia would get knocked out, this would have had to be the fight against Errol Spence Jr. There's nobody below Errol Spence Jr. who's going to knock out Mikey Garcia. Nobody at 140 will knock out Mikey Garcia. Nobody at 135 can knock out Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia may retire without ever taking a knockout loss. We all know a pillow-fisted Vasyl Lomachenko ain't going to knock out Mikey Garcia. he's not going to retire Mikey Garcia. That fight is going to go 12 rounds, guys. That fight is going to go 12 rounds, and Vasyl Lomachenko most likely is going to get the decision. Mikey Garcia will have his second loss to his career. I think it'll be a close fight, but I see them giving the decision to Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm just saying, I think Mikey Garcia may retire in his career without ever taking a knockout loss. Because if there was any fight where Mikey Garcia was supposed to lose by a knockout, it was this fight. And somehow, Mikey Garcia was able to make it to the 12 rounds. So we can't take a lot of credit for Mikey Garcia for actually making it to the 12 rounds. I gotta commend the guy for making it to the 12. So my hat goes off to Mikey Garcia for making it to the 12 rounds. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, we're not gonna sit here and say, oh, Errol Spence took a lot off his punches. Errol Spence didn't sit down on his punches. Man, he had 12 rounds to at least sit down on those punches. What was he doing? Trying to display skills? Nobody asked for him to do that. We wanted to see a knockout, and Errol Spence didn't give us that. Errol Spence Jr. didn't give us the knockout we wanted to see. So we must give Mikey Garcia some credit, because we see Errol Spence Jr. walk through every other opponent. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for Errol Spence Jr. and say, oh, he didn't look like he wanted to get the knockout. Man, he looked like he was in the fight. He looked like he was trying to knock out Mikey Garcia like every other fight. He just couldn't figure the puzzle out. Or unless maybe he wanted to just punish Mikey Garcia for 12 rounds. I mean, you could have punished him for 12 rounds, but in the back of your head, you knew that the fans would be upset if you didn't get the knockout. Because I'm one of those fans that are upset that he didn't get the knockout. I wanted him to get the knockout, and he wasn't able to provide that. So it was a disappointing, in my opinion, it was a disappointment from Errol Spence Jr. by not getting a knockout against a guy moving up 2 weight classes. I appreciate the fact that he put on a boxing clinic. He showed us a different side we've never seen before. But that don't mean I'm disappointed. I'm still disappointed, man. Before this fight, I said if this fight goes 12 rounds, Errol Spence deserved to lose the fight. Before the fight, I said if Errol Spence let Mikey Garcia go 12 rounds, he deserved to lose the fight. But it was so dominant, it was so one-sided that I felt like giving Errol Spence Jr. a break because it was so one-sided. Mikey Garcia didn't win a round in my opinion, but Errol Spence didn't get the knockout. So, because he wasn't able to get a knockout, it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, guys. It leaves a bitter taste in the mouths of boxing fans around the world. How do you let a guy in Mikey Garcia come up 2 weight classes and you're not able to stop him? In my opinion, that's a lackluster performance that he wasn't able to get the KO. I felt like Errol Spence Jr. should have went in there, display skills for a couple rounds, punish him for a couple rounds. You don't need 12 rounds to punish a guy. You can punish him for 3-4 rounds and then really sit down on your punches and knock this guy out. You're trying to prove a point when everybody that knew you were going to win the fight expected a knockout, but you just didn't deliver. Errol Spence Jr. just couldn't deliver a knockout, guys. And for that, it has a lot of people questioning, can Errol Spence Jr. really punch that hard? I remember when Errol Spence Jr. ran into Terrence Crawford, he says, ask everybody, I hit the hardest. After the fight, Mikey Garcia said, yeah, he had some power, but I wasn't really hurt. Maybe with a few body shots, but other than that, I wasn't really hurt. So now Errol Spence has me questioning him. Can he really punch as hard as he says he can punch? Can he really knock out guys? Will he be able to knock out Sean Porter? Why wasn't he able to knock out Mikey Garcia moving up 2 weight classes? Well, that fight against Sean Porter goes 12 rounds. Was Kell Brook really damaged? That's why he went down. And we seen the fight against Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson is an old guy. See, now we're starting to see, is Errol Spence really the boogeyman that we believe he is? Well, a lot of people believe he is. Is he really punching as hard as a lot of people are saying he is? We seen what happened to Lamont Peterson recently. He got stopped by a guy moving up in weight. Now we having a lot of questions. Can Errol Spence really punch as hard as he claims he can? He couldn't knock out a guy in Mikey Garcia. He knocked out Kell Brook, but Kell Brook says he got knocked out because of the eye. Is that true? Is Kell Brook right? We seen Lamont Peterson get KO'd by a small guy moving up in weight. The only person he knocked out at a good level that wasn't knocked out before, we could say, a Chris Algieri. That was an impressive fight. Him knocking out Chris Algieri. But these other guys were damaged goods. I'm starting to question Errol Spence. Is he really punching now? He also knocked out Lunda Bundu. But Lunda Bundu is an old man. Is an old man. Very old. So we all should have expected him to knock out a guy like Lunda Bundu. Carlos Ocampo was very unproven. Very unproven. Carlos Ocampo. He did get a knockout against Chris Van Heeren as well. Chris Van Heeren, that was his only knockout. But Chris Van Heeren isn't one of the top guys at welterweight. You understand what I'm saying? So, my question is, can Errol Spence really knock out Sean Porter like we all think he can? We don't know that. That fight may go 12 rounds, guys. But I honestly believe that since Errol Spence Jr. wasn't able to knock out Mikey Garcia, we may never see Mikey Garcia knocked out. Because I know for a fact pillow-fisted Vasily Lomachenko doesn't have the fireworks to knock out a guy like Mikey Garcia. So, Mikey Garcia may retire without a knockout loss on his career. Unless maybe if he fight Terrence Bud Crawford. But yeah, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification icon for more videos like this. Let me know if you believe Errol Spence is really still punching hard. Tell me the real reason why he wasn't able to knock out Mikey Garcia. Because I'm beginning to question Errol Spence's punching power. I honestly think he should have knocked out Garcia. But instead, he went 12 rounds with this guy.